The interior of the 311 RS Motorsport 992 GT3 Cup is actually a lot more advanced than the previous 991 Cup car. It all starts here with the steering wheel. Paddles, we know what they do. There's actually blinkers up here on the back side of the steering wheel. Pull this off, see all the buttons right here. It starts with, on the top left, the high beam button. Push that and it flashes the front lights. The next is the radio button to talk to the crew. There's actually a start function to crank the engine on the steering wheel right here. If there's any warning on the dash or anything like that, we have the acknowledge button. That'll clear, and also it lets the ECU know that we see the warning. And if it is a problem, it'll actually come back, and then we know we need to pay even more attention to it. Reverse is right here. It's actually a little orange button on the steering wheel. There's a button called the Joker button. It's still like a little bit of a mystery. It does a lot of different little things. On the top right, we have pit for pit speed. Mark, that puts a little asterisk on the data so the engineer can find something. So if the car hits the rev limiter or something kind of weird happens, we can press the mark button and it'll actually show them on the data, and it's easier for them to find. Whip is wipers. Full course yellow, that actually slow the car down, kind of like pit lane speed limiter, but a little bit higher pace. Drink button, it actually is a water pump that flows water into your mouth through a straw. And then on the bottom right, we have a display button. And this will actually change the display on the big, beautiful dash that we have. We have race 1 setting, race 2, that shows us fuel. We have a quali page. It's more focused on lap time. Then we have a warm-up page that the crew can use to make sure our oil and water temperatures are coming up. We have lots of details, steering angle details. It actually kind of goes into the data of the car and shows you throttle positions and steering to make sure everything is functioning correctly. So we have a full page just about the tires. This car is equipped with TPMS. It tells us how much pressure is in all the tires. We even have a track map if we need it. This is actually Spa, so we need to load in Sebring for that. And then we have some Porsche Motorsport display here. One really cool thing about the steering wheel is these little dials right here. This is new for, I think, any 911 race car at this point. The left dial, we can roll this and it moves from ABS to dimmer to throttle to the multi-switch. So when we move that, we can go to ABS, and then this right dial, we can increase the ABS or decrease it. I'll show you with the dimmer. If it's nighttime or getting pretty dark out, we can dim it right down. The throttle switch is pretty important. This actually changes the aggressiveness of the throttle. And then the multi-switch will override different parts of the car. So one example is if an O2 sensor fails and the ECU is getting the wrong readings, we can actually go down and change to multi 4 or 5. And that's preset to override the O2 sensor and will give us engine mapping that we need, not relying on the O2 sensor. On the dash right here, very clean setup. Light switch, a rain light. Rain light lights up the little red box on the back. Down low, safety reasons. A really nice fan that keeps us cool. A reserve fuel pump, and then a couple of option buttons there that we can pre-program to do what we want. And then all the way over here, almost hidden now, is the brake bias knob. These used to sit flat on the dash, and you turn them to the right or turn them to the left, and they had to have little arrows to tell you if it was going to the front or back. Now Porsche's done this. They have it angled kind of the way the wheels are rolling on the car. So to go to the front, we roll it to the front. If you want more rear bias, you roll it to the back. And then it even tells you on the screen. So there's no guessing or anything like that. But this car now has a lot of creature comforts and technology that the RSR has and the R has. So it's pretty impressive that you can get this electronic package in a cup car.